Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving deep into one of India's most beloved stocks. Any guesses? Well, it's ITC Limited. So, if you've been watching the markets, you know that ITC has had a roller coaster ride over the past few months. The stock that was trading near the 500 levels is now trading at the levels of 320. But here's where things get interesting. This might be the buying opportunity that we've all been waiting for. And in this video, we'll break down exactly why ITC at current levels could be an investment opportunity. So if you're considering adding ITC to your portfolio, make sure you watch this video till the end because I have got some really interesting insights to share. Also, do not forget to hit that like and subscribe button to follow along for more such video updates. So let's start by understanding what happened. ITC reached its all-time high of 498 back in September 2024. Well, thereafter, the stock started taking a breather and began consolidating, moving sideways through the end of 2024. Coming into 2025, we saw a fresh rally and ITC showed strength and created what technical analysts call a head and shoulders pattern. Now, for those of you who are unfamiliar, this is a classic trend reversal signal and this showed that some trouble might be incoming in ITC. Soon after that came January 2026, and on the 1st of January, the Finance Ministry announced a massive increase in excise duty on cigarettes and tobacco products. Now, this was on top of the 40% GST which already existed on these products. So what really happened was that with the hike in excise duty and along with the GST, cigarette and tobacco products became more expensive. And that showed up as a massive sell-off in ITC. Here you can see that in January alone, the stock crashed 20%. And this 20% crash wiped out nearly 50,000 crores of market capitalization for the stock. Now here's where things get interesting from a technical perspective. Despite this sell-off, ITC's chart is now showing some encouraging signs for long-term investors. First of all, the fact that ITC hit a low of 302 and this level was last seen back in February 2023. Now, this is what we are considering the base for the recent correction. Now here you can see that a long lower wick can be observed, which means that buying interest is emerging near the lower levels. Secondly, when we take a look at the RSI, here you can see that the RSI on the monthly chart for ITC hit the levels below 30 back in 2020 during the COVID crash. Thereafter, what followed was a massive rally in this particular stock. Once again, after 6 years, ITC's RSI on the monthly chart is dipping towards the levels of 30. Currently, it's trading near the levels of 33.58, which means that RSI on the monthly chart is testing the levels which were not seen in the last 6 years. And usually when the RSI hits oversold conditions, especially on a bigger time frame, what really follows after is some stability and upward movement in the stock. The next signal that we are seeing is that ITC has already completed a 50% retracement of this particular rise from the COVID levels since March 2020 to September 2024. This happens to be the level of 312. See, why this level matters is because this 50% level is something that represents a perfect balance point. And in technical analysis, we consider it as a high probability support zone. And do you know what's even better? The fact that over here we're considering a zone, which means that even if ITC was to fall a little more or maybe dip a little more, we can consider a zone towards the levels of about 270 from the current levels, which makes the risk to reward favorable between the zone that we are discussing over here. Now, one of the biggest reasons why ITC is loved so much by long-term investors is the dividend. In the latest Q3 financial year 26 results as well, you can see that ITC announced an interim dividend of 6.5 rupees per share. Now, because this is an interim dividend, if we were to calculate the dividend yield for the stock, that comes to about 2%. But again, mentioning the fact that this is an interim dividend, ITC might as well be expected to announce a full dividend later in the year, and what I've usually seen is that the dividend yield comes to about 4%. So when you compare this to the fixed deposit rates or other large cap stocks, you will actually realize how attractive this dividend is. And ITC definitely has a long-standing history of paying quarterly dividends, which also makes it favorite among income-focused investors. Because what really happens over here is that while you're waiting for your capital to appreciate, You're getting a fixed income in return as well. There are a lot of recent positive developments as well. One of which is the large block deal that took place in ITC on the 6th of February 2026, and you can find numerous articles about it online as well, wherein you can see that 1.3 crore shares exchanged hands at an average price of 321.80. And when you compare it to the price of ITC on the 6th of February, this was approximately at a 4% premium. Also, the magnitude of this block deal, that is 1.3 crore shares, suggests that this might be institutional buying, which signals that smart money might be finally accumulating ITC. Also, you might have seen that all of these companies have now started to implement price hikes so that they are able to offset the duty increase. So I was reading about this as well, that certain premium cigarettes of about 76 mm in length, they are seeing a price increase of about 50 to 55 rupees per pack so that they're able to combat with the increase in excise duty. So what this really does is that the volumes might be low in terms of sales, but increasing the price keeps the company's margins intact, at least over the medium term. Also, a lot of research reports are coming in wherein the bias on ITC is now turning from sell to hold. That is, ITC is being upgraded from selling to now holding it. So this might be a classic case of the worst is now getting behind us. So when we put it all together and take a look at ITC, it is trading at a discount of about 35%, and the risk to reward at the current levels might be highly favorable as well. Also, as we discussed, that the stock has completed 50% Fibonacci retracement and has also shown certain oversold conditions on the monthly RSI. So this might be the stock fueling up for heading higher in the near to medium term. Again, as we discussed, that the dividend yields, when we consider the full dividend, are about 4%. So this gives us capital appreciation along with the fixed income as well. Also, the recent block deals at premium prices indicate that smart money accumulation might be finally beginning in the stock. So all of this put together points to a favorable risk to reward setup for long-term investors. Now again, remember that this video is purely for educational purposes and it's not to be constituted as a financial advice. You should do your own research and consider consulting with a financial advisor before making any investment decisions. Also, if you found this analysis helpful, please hit the like and subscribe button for more such videos. Do drop a comment below telling us, are you bullish on ITC at these levels, or do you think there are better opportunities elsewhere? Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. So on that note, until we meet again, have a good time.